Welcome back to another episode of Lancescurv. I'm glad to be here. I'm going to do a little early one today, and I'm still going to come on later on. If you hear any noise in the back, that's carpenters and masons and workers working on the castle. But it's not going to be so bad because the worst is over. It's a beautiful day in West Africa. It's a beautiful day in Ghana. It's a beautiful day in the mountains. Another peaceful, beautiful day. A lot of work getting done. A lot of things we want to talk about right now. And this news might be old news, but Zaila Avant-Garde won a spelling bee that is world renowned. And I had a real good feeling to talk about something that I want to talk about. And this is news for her from 3 years ago, but it still hit me the same way. And I'm going to say why. And in the title, you see Zaila Avant-Garde proves that proper parenting in a nurturing home win every time. And along the bottom, behind the scrolly, you'll see, but the mainstream media wants to portray our young girls as harlots. So this is why I have these other young ladies to the side of her, unfortunately. Now, I'm saying that I'm not calling them harlots, but it's, they're not looked at a certain way in society, right? Renee Green, Reese, and Sweet D. Wow. The triple threat, right on time too, you know? So I guess this is a good time to do something. Right now, for me, it's 3 p.m. It's 11 p.m. on the East Coast. And so I think I'll do a show around this time and something else around 8 o'clock my time, 4 o'clock your time. That way, if I do 2 hours, I can get into bed. But the early one here, this might be 30 minutes. This might be whatever. Hey, it might go for 6 hours if people, chime in. I'll let it roll. This is the afternoon. I just may have to take a little break and walk away and speak to these guys who are working. They might need me for something, but it is what it is. But let me share. I just want to bring it up because again, this is 3 years ago, but fads come and go and principles never die. So I'm going to show a piece of the spelling bee competition because this young lady is not just known for being so smart. She's a really great basketball player, very young. I haven't caught up on her from 2021 to now because I heard of this before when it came out. But I tell you, 2021 was a heck of a year for me because I was taking mainly the whole year, pulling the knives out of my back, if you know what I mean. But most of you all know that story anyway. Let me make this screen a little bigger. Good. And I'm going to just let you see a couple of minutes of it so you can get the gist of it because it really brought tears to my eyes. I got jokes on this, but I'm not going to put the jokes on this, right? Kamala Harris's people were right neck and neck with Zaila, the Indians that are there. All respect to them. They didn't do anything bad to her or anything like that. But when she won that spelling bee, they're like, damn it. Let me go ahead and play and remove this banner so you can see. And you might see me here too, right? Let me, I gotta change the screen a little bit. I want you to see the whole thing and nothing but the whole thing. Let me know how the sound is going and everything like that. Now let me go ahead and play this and let me go ahead and shut up until. Let me find it. Here we go. Okay, let's make sure the sound is up. Let's roll.
Neroli oil. Nerelioil. Neroli oil.
Neroli oil is spelled Nerolioil.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's not over yet, but if Zaila gets this next word right, she's the champion. If she doesn't, we go to that spell off.
So here's a championship word for Zaila Avant-Garde to win the 93rd Scripps National Spelling Bee.
So that was round 17. And now, Zaila Avant-Garde, if you spell this next word correctly, we will declare you the 2021 Scripps National Spelling Bee champion. The word is Maria. It's a genus of tropical Asiatic and Australian trees having pinnate leaves and flowers with imbricated petals. Maria.
Maria. Does this word contain like the English name Murray, which could be the name of a comedian, or just an English name in general?
I don't see that here.
Spelling bee.
Maria.
That tells you she's on the right track, though.
Wait, what is the name, Trojan?
It's formed in Latin from a Swedish name.
Maria. Murraa.
That is correct.
And there is your champ. The holder of 3 Guinness World Records, and now the 2021 Scripps National Spelling Bee winner, Zaila Avant-Garde from Harvey, Louisiana. The first champion from that state. There she is with her father. All smiles. The basketball player who nailed the buzzer beater to win it all. More after this.
Word is narrowly.
Okay. I didn't want to go that far and go into the jingle. The jingle might mess this video up. But let me put the banner back up. Then I'm going to show my face. Then we're going to rant. Then we're going to rant. Then we're going to get into it. I wanted to show that, and I want to read off a bit of her life story, if you don't mind. Just a little bit. And why people won't understand. Why do you have these strippers, these half-naked women next to a young lady who is so brilliant? You know, because I wanted to show the contrast. And I'm going to go in on that. Zaila Avant-Garde's name became known to the world when she became the first African-American winner of the Scripps National Spelling Bee in 2021. However, her victory in this prestigious competition is only one chapter in the story of an extraordinary woman from Harvey, Louisiana. Zaila's journey is a testament to the boundless potential within us all, especially within young Black girls who are too often misrepresented or overlooked in mainstream media. Her story is a powerful reminder that despite the challenges and stereotypes that may surround them, Black youth can and do excel in remarkable ways. Zaila was born on February 9th, 2007. That's the other day. Just like I said about Simone Biles, you know, in Harvey, Louisiana. From an early age, she demonstrated insatiable curiosity and a love of learning. Her parents, nurturing her talents and intellect, provided an environment that encouraged Zaila to explore her many interests. Her father, in particular, played a significant role in her development, recognizing her potential and encouraging her to pursue excellence in all she did. Her parents gave her the freedom to explore a variety of activities, allowing her to find what she was passionate about. Zaila was homeschooled, a decision that enabled her to focus on her unique educational needs and interests without the constraints of a traditional school setting. More power to them. This educational flexibility allowed her to dive deeply into subjects she found fascinating, setting the stage for her later accomplishments. Before Zaila became a household name as a spelling champion, she was already making headlines as a basketball prodigy. Her prowess on the basketball court is nothing short of astounding. At just 14 years old, Zaila already held 3 Guinness World Records for her basketball skills. The most bounce juggles in 1 minute with 4 basketballs, which were 255. The most basketballs dribbled simultaneously by one person, 6 basketballs. And the most bounce juggles in 1 minute with 3 basketballs at 231. These records reflect not only her incredible hand-eye coordination, but also her dedication to perfecting her craft. Zaila's achievements in basketball are a testament to the idea that excellence in one area of life can translate to others. Her ability to juggle multiple basketballs with precision and skill mirrors her ability to juggle the demands of her many other pursuits. It is a vivid example of how discipline, practice, and passion can lead to extraordinary results. Zaila's journey to become the Scripps National Spelling Bee champion began when she was only 12 years old. She started competing in spelling bees, inspired by a love for words and a drive to excel. In 2021, after years of hard work and dedication, she won the Scripps National Spelling Bee by correctly spelling the word Mariah, a type of tree. Her victory was historic, making her the first African-American and only the second Black student to win the competition since its inception in 1925. But Zaila's spelling bee success was not just about mastering difficult words. It was about breaking barriers and shattering stereotypes. In a world where the achievements of young Black girls are often overshadowed by negative stereotypes, Zaila's victory was a powerful statement. It showed that Black youth are not only capable of greatness, but are achieving it in remarkable and diverse ways. Zaila's talents extend far beyond basketball and spelling. She is also an accomplished mathematician, a science enthusiast, and a budding astrophysicist. Her diverse interests and abilities highlight the importance of providing young people with the opportunity to explore and develop their talents. Zaila's story underscores the idea that children, especially Black children, should be encouraged to pursue a wide range of interests and to reach for the stars in whatever field they choose. Despite her many achievements, Zaila remains grounded and focused on her future. She has expressed interest in attending Harvard University, where she hopes to study mathematics and pursue a career in something related to numbers or possibly even a career in the sciences. Her ambitions are as lofty as her achievements, and there is little doubt that she will continue to break new ground in whatever path she chooses. In a media landscape that often highlights negative images of Black girls, Zaila Avant-Garde stands out as a beacon of hope and inspiration. Her success challenges the narrative that Black girls and boys have limited options in life. Instead of succumbing to the pressures of society that often push young Black women towards unhealthy or destructive paths, Zaila has chosen to pursue excellence in all that she does. The media rarely showcases the achievements of young Black individuals like Zaila, preferring instead to focus on the stories that reinforce harmful stereotypes. This is part of a broader effort to marginalize and devalue Black people, making it all the more important to celebrate and amplify the successes of those like Zaila. Her story serves as a reminder that despite the challenges and systemic barriers that exist, Black youth possess extraordinary talent and potential. Zaila Avant-Garde's story is not just one of personal triumph. It's a call to action. It is a call for parents, educators, and society as a whole to nurture the talents of young Black children, to celebrate their achievements, and to provide them with the opportunities they need to succeed. It is a call to challenge the negative portrayals of Black youth in the media and to replace them with stories of hope, success, and inspiration. We need more examples like Zaila in the public eye. Her success should be a source of inspiration for all young people, especially for those who may not have had the privilege of a nurturing home environment. It shows that with determination, support, and the right opportunities, it is possible to rise above the challenges and achieve greatness. Zaila Avant-Garde is a shining example of what can be achieved when talent meets opportunity. Her story reminds us that greatness knows no bounds and that no matter where we come from, we all have the potential to change the world. Let us celebrate Zaila and all that she has accomplished, and let her story inspire us to reach higher, dream bigger, and support the next generation of leaders, innovators, and achievers. I'm done reading that. That's what I was inspired to talk about today. And I want to speak about a few other things on top of that. Let me straighten this out here and maybe show my little sweaty self. I'll leave it at that. But I think it's very important that we share these types of stories. Wow. I don't even have a rag over here. Let me tell you something. Africa's hot, but I hear it's hot over the United States right now. I hear it's like somebody's tampering with the weather over there. I don't know, but let's see. Let me see what this can do here. Let me get myself back on. Full screen? Yeah, we'll do it full screen. Okay, let's see. Boom, here I am. This is not my studio, y'all. This is a temporary setup while everybody else is doing their work in the rest of the house. So I had to move in here. I got to move to another part. But in a couple of weeks, we'll be home in the studio. But this is not going to be long. This is going to be a short one. And I said I'll be doing some short ones from time to time as the feeling hits, because I have a few shorts I want to do and I want to do something out in the yard. I'm going to be home today, but when they're done, I got to run the mate. So that's why I got up early today and said, hey, let's get some work out. And I want to thank you all for being on the show last night. We're going to have another one tonight. I have not figured out exactly what we're going to talk about, but let me look over here while I squint and acknowledge everybody who's here. Of course, Renee Green, Reese, Sweet D, King Hazy, Only Hayes YouTube channel, right? Who else is here? Sweet Berry. Yes, welcome on in. Now we're going to freestyle this one again. This might be done in 10 minutes. I just wanted to make the contrast. And I'm going to come back. I just want to put the banner up so you can see it as I make my points. And for anybody coming in, I'm like, what is he talking about? So they'll see it here. Let's put this back up. I know you miss me. I know you want to look at me. No, I'm just playing with y'all. Let me tell you something. After all I've been through in this life and all the time that I've been through a lot, but it's not stopping me. I've been through a lot, but I'm going to keep on striving. I'm going to keep on reaching for the stars, you know? And this young lady's story really, and you know, she rides a unicycle also, a one-wheel bike, just like me. Oh, man. So understand that we may be the ages that we are, even to these young ladies who are on the screen next to her, as a contrast. And let me allow the bottom banner to not scroll so that people can see what I'm trying to go at. And the title again, Zaila Avant-Garde proves that proper parenting and a nurturing home win every time. Now, sometimes in life we have kids that are rebellious, but when done right, it's a good thing. But the mainstream media wants to portray our young girls as harlots. They do. That's the only time they get promoted, when they can shake their behind. This is why I can't understand why Kamala Harris would have Megan Thee Stallion half naked, twerking and dancing. But see, this is the thing. We eat this stuff up, and our young children see this stuff. You know, this might be a little bit off topic, but when you're doing bodybuilding and you're doing the exercise called the squat, you have to kind of hold your head back. Not back where you're going to fall back, but hold it up. It's easier to go up. But when you kind of put your head down, that weight, it feels so heavy. Try it out sometime if this is something that you do. So where the parents focus on what they allow affects the children big time. If these children in the household see us gossiping, drinking, drunk, fighting, cussing, drugging it, womanizing, man hopping, whatever it may be, but the facade of that household looks to be wholesome from the outside, it doesn't matter how much you patch it up and make it look good from the outside. Most homes that I've known that are dysfunctional, because I might have known the people or been within close proximity to hear their arguments and what they talk about, but when they come outside, oh, good morning, everything is fine. Not that you're supposed to go out there and put their business out in the street. Understood. But, you know, let it be some balance there. Your children, the fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree. Let's put it that way. The fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree. That's a given, you know? But a nurturing home. Look, when you decide, I can't even say when you decide to lay down, because we can decide to lay down with somebody because of the spirit of lust. And there is a lust factor even in the righteous union. Look, the man's with the woman's with the man. He is not looking at her saying, oh, I am just so turned on by your knowledge of the stock market. Your advice on investments just help me avoid the crash. I am so turned on. No, he's looking at you. He appreciates the physicality, but that's only the icing on the cake. It should be what's in your mind. It should be what you stand for. And see, this is not the blame game to get into the man-woman thing. Oh, it's the men who are no good. Oh, it's the women who are no good. We all have to have a responsibility in rebuilding our community. And we're not rebuilding our community by allowing our children to absorb this filth, which many of us, coming up, there's little things I like to look at, and because that's nature. But don't let it take control of your life, because when it does, it'll take away the precious time that you can learn and set a foundation. And we talk about building a better future. It starts with our children, because they're tomorrow's leaders. They're the ones who are going to rule the world. And this is why, unfortunately, America is falling. Lots of other places in the world, but really and truly, with every passing day, and I'm not saying that because, oh, yes, I got out, I'm in Ghana, whatever happens over there. No, I care very much for my people over there. Even when they come with the foolishness and they troll you and they leave their crazy comments and whatever have you, for the most part, those who are aware, those who I'm close to, whether I shook your hand or hugged you or not, I do care for you. I do care for what goes on over there, because that's where I was born and raised. Even though this is my home, America is still my home in a certain sense. In a certain sense. I wasn't adopted and brought there. I mean, I'm not saying anything, my parents. I'm just saying that in the lineage, in that part of the world, in my bloodline, I don't know about anybody else's, because when I say stuff like this, here they come with the long, I had a guy write me like 3 pages worth of comment, and it was one sentence. You are not African. Your people did not come. I'm like, wait a second, he don't know me then. But like I always say, why can't we connect globally as melanated people? Just like those who have carved borders and boundaries in the motherland, right? Why? Before that happened, what was there? What was there? We had different tribes and different things, and there were tribal disputes, and they were settled because no side really wanted war. We were not bloodthirsty people. We have in the rulership over us in America, bloodthirsty people. They're like meat eaters that they want to eat their meat rare, basically raw, and most of them do. Can I have a medium rare steak? Yeah, I like the blood. You're the vampires, you're bloodsuckers. It tells you right there. But we don't have to raise our children to have that mentality. We don't have to raise our children to be in the dog eat dog, and we have to understand that they need to know about this to protect themselves. But from within themselves, we have to teach our children that success just doesn't mean by any means necessary getting money, getting that bag. We have to make them know that there's other things that go along with that. It doesn't mean that there's righteousness in being broke, but if you happen to be broke at the moment, things will take care of themselves when you work hard, but it should not be your God. We've become unraveled under the sick rule in America and really the whole colonized world. But I speak about America because that's where I lived 57 years out of my life. And yes, next month I would have been here 4 years. But I did 57 years in that place. Just like a prisoner who'll say, yeah, I did 57 years in Sing Sing. I did 57 years in Alcatraz. Well, I did 57 hard years in America. And thank God for the parents of Zaila Avant-Garde who protected her from that. My parents protected me from that, but the environment was also so strong, it kept me from getting involved in things. But there were so many distractions as a young black man growing up in New York City that when I saw this clip, even though it was 3 years ago, we should still use it as inspiration because she didn't get to be that way overnight. And this is what inspires me, that even though I may be 61 years old, I keep saying that because it's a mockery to the enthusiasm that I have inside of me. Or my enthusiasm is going to make a mockery of that number. It might as well be 16. But I know when my blip is on the radar screen, and I'm not going to waste any time still to begin to unearth the talents and abilities that I have on the inside now that I'm living a more less distracted life because of the atmosphere of growing up in that tense, crazy place. There are many who communicate with me and let me know how crazy it is over there. Mad Guns Forever, I'm seeing you. I'm seeing you. Yes. And as always on my phone, there's somebody ring me. Every time I go live, they ring, and when I pick up, they don't say anything. But we don't hear you because I have new settings where the phone keeps quiet when I'm doing a show. They love to sit there and send me things when I used to run the show through my phone. Bring, bring, bring. And they get it through. I can hear it. I can hear it. Well, waste your time now. It ain't going to happen. But like I said, a cruise ship can't turn as fast as a sailboat. So we're on a cruise ship called America. And America is comparable to the Titanic. And many people thought the Titanic was foolproof and could never sink. And don't you know they have a new boat now that's bigger than the Titanic? They can accommodate, 6,500 people? It's crazy. And a staff of 250, several stories, several decks. Maybe like 5 or 6, and all this entertainment area. It's frightening. I would never get on anything like that. But America is like the Titanic, and it's beginning to sink. And when it was beginning to have problems in the bottom of the ship, there were people whining and dining and drunk and laughing and just the whole Sodom and Gomorrah thing. Could you imagine what was going on in those rooms and outside of those rooms? And so there are many in America who are laughing and partying and just living it up. And we have social media robbing our mind. Those of us who have a proper mind know how to filter out the foolishness. Yeah, every now and then somebody would come on half naked and pull my eye for an extra second. I'm like, oh no, that's a second too much. Let me get off of this. There's no way I can do what I do if I was scrolling through things like that all day long. That's to trap your mind. That's to take your mind away from focusing on those who are under you. And I don't mean under you like they're less, but the ones who you have a responsibility for to raise up. And the sinking ship is sinking. And we kind of know something's not right, but we're trying to say, oh, no, nothing's wrong with this. This is going to keep on. I'm living in the greatest country in America, in the world, and it's America, the United States of America. United, really? There have been many holes in that ship that have been there for a long time, leaking water in. And many don't want to leave because they think that the lifeboat is something that is uncomfortable, something that is not going to be as good. You don't even understand that there's a need for you to even be on the lifeboat. And so when people realized that the ship was sinking and many were now trying to get to the lifeboats, for some it was too late because everybody moved in a panicking way. You understand? And it doesn't mean you have to actually leave somewhere around the other side of the world, but really and truly secure yourself. Leave the system. You can be on the land, but you have to leave the system. The system has nothing to do with the land because the American system, the wicked system of the United States, is a global entity. It's over here in Ghana just as much. I got to take that back. Not just as much, but the leaders bow down. Many of the African leaders, our Kebulan leaders, bow down. And when they bow down, that means that octopus with the arms and tentacles that reach all over, choking off the resources. It's here, but it's not here as much. It's not here as much. And if I choose to go further out where you can't get a cell phone signal, further out where you ain't gonna plug nothing in for electricity, that's really what I want. That's what I want. I want peace of mind from this place. Even when I see those who are there with the same arrogant attitude and look at me in the street and realize that that's a Black American. Look at him, just free. He should be mentally and physically chained up in America. Look at him. We thought this was our oasis. This is how many of them people think. They come here and see a person like me walking strong, enjoying my brothers and sisters. And even some of the workers here that were here right now, I might call one over to the daggone camera, make you see him. We were having, even his English is broken, but we were having a wonderful conversation without the venom, without that fake thing going on. They're here to do their work and get paid. We all live together. I'm not saying we live together, but we live amongst each other and we serve each other and we treat each other fair. And that's a beautiful thing. But that's not the way it is in America, that poisons our minds against each other. So when I see Zaila moving unscathed, coming up in that system, but it's not touching her. Number one, she was homeschooled. She didn't have any opportunity for any type of teacher to make her feel less, because that's the job of many of these people who are teachers. It's just the job for them. Do you think it was just a set time when she was being homeschooled that, okay, it's 3 o'clock, you stop? She had such an interest in doing what she's doing. I'm quite sure the mother had to say, listen, it's time to get some rest. You've been at this for the last 14 hours. And it brought tears to my eyes to realize how they let her flow in whatever area that she wanted to flow in. My parents were the same way. I don't know if you know it, but old Scurv had piano lessons. I played in a little kiddie concert. I used to get guitar lessons. I went to an art school, but as you well know, I had that natural inclination. So they only told me the names of the techniques that I was already doing. And this is one of my things about America. You know, had some girlfriends and stuff, little distractions. I gave into that. And I take responsibility for that, accountability for that. But I'll tell you one thing. If I grew up somewhere else, be a lot better off. That's why I'm kind of angry at this place called America, because many of us have to fight through the attacks, the subtle attacks, the mental attacks, the physical attacks that scar us and take us off course from unearthing the seeds of greatness that are inside of us. We got to deal with the hostile living environment. That no matter how strong your nurturing environment at home is, you're still going to feel certain things. What saddens me is that Zaila Avant-Garde may one day really have to face some harsh things if she hasn't already. And I'm quite sure her parents have prepared her for that, the way my parents prepared me for that. But nonetheless, it's annoying to have to go through. Nonetheless, when you have talent and ability and you love doing what you do, you have to go out in the world and deal with that ignorance and deal and fight a fight that you didn't start. So when you have young ladies, I'm not going to demonize them, but you have young ladies who come up, maybe they didn't have a nurturing household, maybe they did and they were rebellious, because you know that rebellious phase, the consequences are very high right now. But the bottom line, they made a choice to either sell their bodies completely or sell it on display, lap dancing, and you can touch on me or you could do this. And you know, VIP doesn't just mean very important person. VIP, they have different rooms in these strip joints where you can go back there and have sex. So really and truly, you're in that atmosphere, you're in that industry. I mean, you can't say, well, I'm not having sex, but look what you're doing. Well, I'm just doing this for the money. I understand it, but money should not make you compromise. Many of these young ladies did not have a nurturing household. And if they had a nurturing looking household, but were molested or had some kind of trauma from a boyfriend from young or somewhere along the way, nobody really wants to do that. But we live in an age where that is encouraged. And these young girls don't want to really push, and they see they can show their body and get money and get attention, get all the attention they need. Lots of times they are starving for male attention, and they will get it, even though the males involved are not looking to dedicate their lives to them and build something with them. But someone may see a Zaila Avant-Garde and say, I I wouldn't choose her as a girlfriend. Now, you know, she's young in this clip and a couple of years are going by, but she's not interested in a ton of makeup. She's not interested. Look, she's not interested in oh, I got to get my hair done. The roots are growing in. I already know this. You can tell. And most of these lustful, ass-hungry men out here can't even approach a woman like that because they have nothing to offer. But yet we have women who are half naked, no morals, compromised. Oh, I need a man with 6 figures and I need a man. What? That will come if you work on, use your brain. Now, you know, when they say a guy says, I need some brain, you know what he means. But work your actual brains and the world is yours and you don't have to compromise. We have mothers who are encouraging their young 6 and 7-year-old girls. Go get it, girl. Get it, girl. Dancing off of crazy music, twerking, teaching them how to do it. Shake your moneymaker. What kind of place are we in? And then we want to turn around and blame the white man. Then we want to turn around and blame the white man. Oh, the white man. Oh. Look, I've had my battles and my dealings with the symbolic white man. And so the white people who are here, well, we've never beat down any black people. It's the system that favors you. And we need to know right now that it's really not a good time for us. And I will say that many of us, I'm not saying anybody here in the chat room, I'm not saying anybody in particular, I'm just saying many of us are straight stupid. S-T-U-P-I-D. You want to march. March to who? March for what? What has marching ever got you? You see the intelligence that young Zaila has? She can go anywhere in the world with her intelligence. Shaking your ass in the club don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing in other places. Nudity here in Ghana, in the country, in the villages, is no big thing. You ain't gonna have, you go way out in the small villages where many of the women walk around topless. I've been places there and I had to adjust. I'm like, you know, I'm not looking at them in lust, but I'm, you know, excuse me, ma'am, your titties are hanging out. You can't open up a strip joint up there. And the men ain't looking at them that way. The men ain't turning around and, oh yeah, man. You know, over here, it's not a thing that's where our sisters are sexualized like that. It's nature. When you see a pregnant goat, a pregnant dog, and the breasts are hanging, do you look at, oh, look at the dog. I mean, even if you're into bestiality, you ain't saying that. The female form is beautiful and it's sacred and it's for a purpose. And yes, if you are the man, her man, and you built together and you're dedicated to each other, enjoy her body. You've earned it. But it should not be where that's the only thing you enjoy. When you enjoy that, that's the icing on the cake. Because you know she has the brains, she has the smart, she has the commitment, she has the love, she has the dedication. You see what I mean? And even though Zaila is very young here, I'm not saying this as far as no pedo way, but if you bring her age up to what she would be at 25 or 30, 32, 35, she's the most beautiful woman here on this banner, and she doesn't have to show her body. When she gets to the ages of these other women here, she's the most beautiful one there because of what's inside of her. And you tell me what kind of conversation you can have with some of these women after you do with them. Some of them might be college educated and smart, but they're like a ship without a rudder. Do you want to wife any one of these women up? Their adornments are attractive, but let me tell you something. You have a lot of conservative, smart, regal, beautiful women that are about something enough standing. And when they're with you, they're with you. And although we don't own anybody, for the time that they've dedicated themselves to you and you to them in marriage, he's yours. Not to abuse, not to boss around, not to make her do something that she doesn't want to do, but let the mutual love flow. You can't do that with these women here. I don't need no man. I get my money. I don't need. And then when they get a little older, they bitter because he done jumped from one relationship to the next. And that goes for the men too. You have the man whores up here too. But I couldn't put them next to the picture of Zaila because I'm talking about our young sisters, which I can go ahead and pick somebody, a young black boy, and I say boy, not like the crackers would. Boy, I'm saying a boy. If you're a boy, you're 7 or 8 years old, you're a young man, you're a boy, whatever, right? I can do the same thing. I can talk the same way. Inverted to the males, but this clip caught me this morning. And I'm telling you, when I played that clip and I watched and I saw how she won, and I could just see the hours of dedication, the hours of study, the hours of discipline. I really wanted to cry. You know why? Because she's a young lady right here, but I saw a lot of me in her when I was younger. And I had a wonderful childhood, but it was when I got out into the world and started to work jobs and get around people, although I knew what the deal was, I got into my battles because it was brought to me. You know, I didn't do anything to anybody. I'm just saying I had to fight with, you know, that change all of a sudden. You know, even the others would see, oh, he's a handsome young man and he's so smart. I know he'll go far in life. And as soon as I got a little more testosterone in my body and got some muscles because I was lifting weights and training, I wasn't some brute. But you walk across the street and you see them at the red light and here they come locking their doors. You see the little old white lady coming down the street at night or even in the daytime. She sees you and she crosses the street. Not knowing that I'm the one, not because you're a little old white lady. I'm just saying, in my heart, I didn't have any venom. If something happened to any woman on my watch in the street, I don't care if it was a dog biting her. I'm going to run up on, I'm going to kick that dog off of her. You better come try to bite me or just keep tasting my feet. You know, and this is how we should build up our community. And this is what we have to instill and teach in our children because, you know, some of us as adults, we're lost causes. I'm going to say it. Just like a car that is totaled and the insurance company writes it off. A lot of us just need to be written off. A lot of us are not living. We're just alive. And we could have something to impart to those around us, not just the young people, but to inspire the ones who may be stagnant or maybe a little tired or need a little inspiration. But we don't. We just indulge in our own personal Titanics of a life. And just like America, we find ourselves sinking down and drowning. And one level, I got out. I jumped on my lifeboat and got out. But it's more than just physically moving yourself from one country to the next. But I will tell you, it feels so good to not be on a sinking ship. And whichever way you can do it, because it's not for everybody to do it the same way I did it, but there's always a way, because I always say, and I'm going to say it this way because I hate to say the word problem, but every problem has a solution. But what I say is that every challenge has a solution. You can surmount any mountain that's put in front of you. It's just a matter of figuring out how. How are you going to do it? But build up your resources so you can. Because every mountain that's put there is made there to climb. I don't care if it's Mount Everest. I don't care if it's Mount Kilimanjaro. I don't care if it's just the hill around the corner from where you live, where you got to walk up the hill and huff and puff to get to the store. You see what I mean? Every day should bring us closer to our goal. But if you have no goal, what are you going to do with your day? The wind blows left, you go left. The wind blows right, you blow right. You understand? I just don't understand it. But yes, inspiration. I dedicated myself. I'm going to talk about all the things that are going on out there, and I'm going to cook it. I might cook it tonight. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about something that's pertinent and that's going to be interesting. I have a whole lot of things on my bucket list to do and talk about. I got runs to make, and I will be back on later. But the thing is that now I also want to put out something positive along with the other stuff. Because right now, what we're regurgitating on social media is, it could be depressing. But we need to face certain things. But we also need to have a balance to know that there are good people out there. And I'm going to tell a little tale from back in the day. I think it's around 2016, 2017. I think it was 2016, late 2016. And I told this story before. I was up and I was sketching a picture. Actually, I was sketching something for someone's menu, like a flyer, like on the front, like you can fold it and it's like a flyer, but they wanted a picture. And it was an Italian man in Italy, actually. Because, we have the internet. And people find out, I'm going to start putting that stuff out there that I do draw, I do sketch things. Everybody doesn't want what we have presently now as far as AI to do something. Some people like the pencil and the pen. So I was sitting up sketching this thing. And the man didn't speak English, but his son did. And so I knew how to got paid pretty well for that job. And those are the things I want to do here. So the internet, which may be knocked down forever or for a very long time, is a great source of income while you have it. So you have to prepare for the time when you don't have it, which I'm doing now. That's why I can't take this whole thing so serious. Like, it's going to be there forever and I need it. And it's my lifeline. No, it's going to be gone. We're going to go back to the time of pen and paper and mailing and licking stamps probably. We don't know. We may not have phones. We may not have anything that works. Be ready for that. I'm looking at this as a nostalgic time from now while we have it, because one day it may be gone. See what I mean? Enjoy it while you have it. But I was up one night sketching this picture, and I got a text message, and that's all it was. It wasn't a phone call. It was a text message that basically said, "Is this Lance?" I said, "Yes, this is Lance." And it was a young lady who was probably in her early 20s. And she told me that when she was 12 years old, her mother threw her out of the house. And you can get in trouble for that. She didn't care, though. She just threw her out of the house. The mother had a boyfriend that it was one of many. Every 2 weeks, she had a new boyfriend. And the new boyfriend forced her to smoke crack. See, the mother didn't know that the boyfriend was a crackhead, from what she tells me, right? And she made her do it. He didn't put a gun to her head. He was like, "Listen, this is like candy." And she was, she took a puff and got the hit. And when she wanted more right away, well, he had something for her to do. Okay? And y'all know what that is, right? The Kamala Monica Lewinsky, right? So she did it. She got more. That was their secret. You know how the people groom you. These guys groom the women and whatnot. But when the mother found out that that's what it was, that she was doing that with him, she didn't tell her about the crack part. Well, threw her out. Well, she wanted more crack. So guess what she did when she was in the street? It wasn't hard for her to figure out how she can get quick money. She was only 12 years old, but she was developing rapidly. I don't care how rapid you develop. How can anyone look at a 12-year-old? You know it's a 12-year-old. What are you getting out of this? It's a child, man. It's a child. Look, even when I was 17, 18 years old, I wouldn't want to date nobody a year or two younger than me. I was looking at the ones who were 30 years old. And that was my problem. You know what I mean? Because they had no problem with it either. But anyway, she's in the street. Earth Angel, Grand Rising, Landon Price. Good to see you here, brother. And everybody else who I already acknowledged, and whoever else is here listening. And so she's in the street. She's doing that. She had offers to do it unprotected. She did it. She got maybe a couple more dollars or whatever. You know, these men, they get off on a young lady's innocence like they're violating something, even when they know they're a little hardened because they're in the street. So now she's 13 years old. She's not feeling too good. She found out that she was HIV positive. HIV positive. 13 years old, smoking crack. So she was so angry with the world and hurt that this man did what he did to her and tricked her, and the mother threw her out without any understanding of what happened. And now she's in the street. She's telling me this in a text. She's like, "I have a lot of texts to send you. Please." I said, "Listen, send as much as you want. It's okay." She said, please read them. This is my story. I said, "Sure, it's no problem." I was sketching, and I had the phone up and the texts were coming in and zip, 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 zip. I kept, because she'd take a little while, 90 seconds or 2 minutes to keep on texting. So I'd hit it, read it, and keep drawing. So make a long story short, She's 15 years old, 16 years old, 17 years old. You know, she's hitting some clinics here and there, you know, some different types of medication. She's out there raw dogging it, giving oral sex to these men, giving regular sex to these men, even giving anal sex to these men. And her revenge was every time she saw any of these men who just crept up on her and wanted stuff from her, she saw the man who molested her. So she's getting him back. And I can't say that I don't understand how she felt. I'm not saying I've been in that position, but all I'm saying is that I can understand how this young lady felt. So her aunt would come out to the street and find her and literally drag her back to her apartment. A couple times it got brutal. A couple times the cops were almost involved with the whole thing because of the way she handled her. But, you know, thank God that they let them do what she had to do. And so she'd be there trapped for a couple weeks, fighting the urges for crack, not letting her get out. There were other family members there, males, who would keep her inside. They'd feed her, they'd treat her nice, but you are not going out there unsupervised. You're not going out there. One time she took a walk with one of the cousins or whatever, the older cousins or whatever, and she tried to break free like Kunta Kinte. He ran it down and dragged her on back. But eventually she always got away. They couldn't always watch her like that. Even when they had the locks changed in the apartment door where you had to open up from the inside also, and she didn't have a key and it was too high to jump out the window. So now he's in there, she's seeing this thing called a computer, and she sees her aunt always on the computer reading things. And sometimes now videos came out. YouTube was out for a couple years at this time. So she'd hear the so-called corny YouTube videos, but in her mind was already not so wholesome as to enjoy the home life that she was afforded because of her aunt's aggressions to get her off of the street. So, you know, she was reluctant to absorb anything. You know, she didn't trust men. She hated herself. She felt that she wasn't going to live long, and she felt hopeless. So this went on the cycle of leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back. She said around the 5th time that the aunt drug her home, she began to notice what she was looking at online. Now, this is a tearjerker for me, and I ain't bigging myself up, but she said she saw this bald-headed man on this website and some of these videos that this guy was talking and other things too. But after a while, when the aunt went into a room to maybe lay down where she can have full view of the niece, even though the doors, you couldn't get out of it and she wasn't going to jump out the window, she started to look at this stuff. She started to read some of the words, and she saw how gritty it was and how real it was. And she kind of got to trust the guy on the video, even though the guy on the video would say little sexual things. It was innocent because I'm wide range. It was me. It was me. And you know what she told me? She said, Lance, I wish I had just like screenshotted those text messages, not to show out to the world her personal business, which I didn't need to know her name. But she told me, Lance, you have to understand, you're the first guy that I ever trusted in my life. And I know you had a life before, and I know you speak of different things that may be adult, but I understand it. But when I see you, and I was watching your videos, she said, so many tears came to my eyes, and you were talking about the racist stuff. You were talking about the different things in the world and stuff, but you spoke something that touched me. And it made me feel human. It made me feel valued. And there was a time before I did text you and you gave me an answer to a dilemma I was going through, and you didn't know it was me. You just did it. And I'm looking at this like, I just want to let you know, Lance, I'm cleaned up. I'm still HIV positive, but I met somebody who had the same health status, that loves me, that wants to be with me. And now because of his job, which they know he is, but he's well, he's working. We have good benefits. We're married now. And I forget you, because it's not just you now, but you were one of the factors that helped me to change my life and see me a certain way. Man, by the time I got to the end of that thing, man, I was in tears. I was in tears. Riri, welcome on in. Chance Rogers, we've been scurving them. Let me open up here. I see something that Earth Angel wrote. These demons, men and women, do horrible things to children because they know they're hellbound. Exactly. They know they are. And they don't care. Don't trust none. I don't care. Don't trust none. As a matter of fact, I would never even put myself in a situation for anybody to even infer or even suggest. I remember there's a woman in the neighborhood who wanted to run to the store real quick. She had a son and 2 daughters in the house. She's like, Lance, just come over here and just go in the room with them. I'm just going to run to the store real quick. I said, well, why can't I go to the store for you? She was embarrassed. I know she wanted to pick up some things, but she wanted to pick up some feminine napkins, right? I know that's what it was because I saw it in the bag. She trusted me, but no, don't trust me. I said, okay, you know what to do? I said, I'm going to wait out here by the front. Really leave the door cracked. I'm sitting right here. I know them 2 nosy ladies across the street will make sure and know and vouch for me to say I never went in the house. Why? Because I don't trust myself? No, I don't want anything to even look remotely. I never bounced my daughters on my lap. Is it because I can't trust myself? No. I don't want them to feel comfortable on any man's lap. You get the knee, the end of the knee. You can sit there and I bounce you, but you're not sitting in my lap. Not that there would be any response from that warmth because that is a child. You understand? But see, we need to make them and groom them in a way where they know that the next man who will come on over here, sit in my lap. No. And there have been people that I've known semi-close, not all the way close, but they would come here, let me sit here, baby. They don't know. No, listen, man, we don't do that here. Oh, come on, man. What you mean? I ain't thinking like that. I said, I don't know if you are. I kind of feel you're not, but you got to understand how I'm trying to raise my children. And they're more worried about how they couldn't bounce a child on their lap than the logic in what I'm saying. You see what I mean? So it's all how we groom our children. Just the way Zaila Avant-Garde was groomed in the proper way. We can't let that word be taken over by pedophiles. We got to take that word back to grooming, nurturing, proper parenting. We got to bring that word back. But we need to plant the seeds of being hopeful to make the children understand that they're great at that age group from when they're born all on up. The more that, and I don't mean shield them from the world, explain to them what is happening in the world so they don't have any curiosity. Like my father did me, showed me everything. Walked me in, showed me drug guys shooting stuff up in the arm, took me to the numbers spot where they were gambling and showed me and told me what that was all about. Took me to the whorehouse and showed me that's what it's all about. And like I said before, I kind of like the visuals there with all the testosterone going through my veins, but I was taught. So when I was in my room doing my homework at 11, 12, and 13, although I had an incident with a female cousin from when I was young, I still had a lust to learn, a drive to do what I had to do. Whenever we had book reports, I would always make sure, and we had to write those book reports out. If it was going to be on one side of the page and end, it didn't have to be 10 pages long. It better end on the last line, not halfway through, but at the end of the line. So by the time you were 3 lines from finishing, you had to come down to a smooth landing. You couldn't put 1 sentence on the back or a half a sentence on the back. You had to finish the proper way or rip it up and start all over again and write it in ink. You better make sure you spell those words right. Wasn't any crossing out. See, so that's the era I come from, right? To be meticulous, to be not a perfectionist where you're stressed like a lot of Japanese folks jumping out of windows when they make, you know what I mean? Not like that, but to be your best and demand the best of yourself. And to know that as long as you demand the best of yourself and you get into the things that interest you, you'll always rise no matter what. But nothing Nothing beats proper parenting in a nurturing home. Proper parenting in a nurturing home. This is why my foundation on a psychological level is so strong. And believe me, I have been through some battles. More than anyone pretty much here knows, and I'll be revealing a lot more. But I've been through some battles. I've always been the target of foolishness. I'm trying to do something positive. So this is why I moved the way I do now. Because it ain't over. Remember, you can get so much done in 1 year if your life is clear. Sometimes it takes time for us to get to that point. But as a parent, the more you extend that for your children, you're really giving them a head start. Homeschooling, that's the best, if possible. But even when you get older, don't think you can't tap into those seeds of greatness that you have inside of you. I look forward to, and I always say it, Lance, when are you going to stop doing this? I say, hey, I might stop when I'm 70 or 75, if I'm granted that time on this earth. Don't think if I get to 75, I'm going to turn around and say, hey, I'm stopping. I can't stop. I can't stop doing something. If the internet shuts down, I don't need it. But it is a great addendum to what I've already learned as far as my foundation. And it's not just about doing this. This is secondary. I done read so much this morning. I done absorbed so much. I learned a few things. Even the guys hammering in the background, if you can hear the noise, I learned from them, even though they speak broken English. All day long, I'm learning, absorbing, striving, growing. But see, I spoke to someone else very close to me this morning, and I spoke about the story I just told you about the young lady who has HIV. See, many people think that what they honor is the epitome of whatever category, that you honor the same thing. You know, it must be said, I'm not out here just looking for views. I'm not out here just looking for hits. I have set myself, and Mrs. Scurv and I have set ourselves in a way that can go way above the foolishness that goes on YouTube on those lower vibrational levels with the lower vibrational people. The young lady who had the HIV positive thing going on, who changed her life around, she said, Lance, let me tell you something. No matter what you do from this point on, just know that you affected one life for the better. One life. And so for those who have their nasty commentary and, you know, they're throwing stones from behind the tree because they're cowards, they can't show their face or say their name, what have they affected? What are they putting their energy toward? You see what I mean? So I'm bulletproof to that stuff. Because when you're doing the real stuff, the real thing, not because I'm some bad person, because, yeah, man, I done moved to the motherland and built this house. That ain't got nothing to do with it. Because I did that long before I knew what Africa looked like. What I'm trying to say, what value does your life have? Will you remain a maggot, a bottom feeder, when you could turn that around and swim to the top and do something good that will affect somebody's life? You see what I mean? We have fun. I tell my jokes. Sometimes people misunderstand me. But the bottom line, what are you doing progressive? Are you better off tomorrow than you were today? Are you better off today than what you were yesterday? Because you got to be in some pretty sad shape to try to even discourage anyone who has years of momentum from birth and knows who they are. How sad. Look, we're all going to transition one day. But as far as discouraging Lancescurv, I tell you, on that level, and it ain't bragging, shoot, I'm untouchable. I know it's backing me up. I've had experiences out here on higher spiritual levels that let me know. That's why I'm here to let you know. Me? If you look at my track record on so many different levels, I should be gone and dead right now. It had to be a wonderful creator who knew what my purpose was as a tool in the toolbox to keep me protected and keep my bloodstream clean from all the risky behavior that I indulged in many decades ago. So many are gone and I'm still here, and I'm shaking my head like, whoa, I must be here for a reason. And just know that no matter what you go through, you're here for a reason. And just like I spoke to my dear sister earlier today, I said, little girls like Zaila Avant-Garde, who may not have the nurturing household, be that with your talents and abilities, your encouraging words. If you don't know anything else to do but bake a nice sweet potato pie, do that with the parents' permission. And while she eats, to sit down and speak some positivity in her. I don't have any time to go back and forth with the foolishness. We're going to speak real on this platform. Yes, we are. And there are things that I do know that I can teach, and there are things that I know that people know I've learned from them, and bring them on so they can teach me and teach everybody also too. We all got something to share to the world. And I just want to say, if there's anybody that wants to come on in, as I always do, because we're definitely going to have a show later on, but I have to see how these guys are coming along with the work. And I also have to make a run out. And here it is. Let me drop this link. I'm going to say something for a few minutes because I got to get ready to go. There it is in the chat room. Yes. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And this was, I had it in me from this morning, you know, when I saw this clip, but I said, yeah, I got to do something early. I don't care how much knocking and banging is going on behind me. High up in the day. What time is that? Well, it's actually 4:07. The show may not be at 8 now, 8 my time, or 4 hours from now, like I want. Wow, 4:07? I did start at 3, didn't I? So it's not going to be 2 o'clock finishing up. So on that note, I don't think anybody's coming in now, which is okay. Last night, Riri came in. I appreciate you. And like I said, we're going to move on. I got some things to do. I just wanted to stick this one in early like I will always do. But once the studio's done, there'll be set times you know you won't even have to check. But on that note, let me just switch over. This thing is taking a second. Okay, here it is. Let me just say so long with my sweaty self. I'm here in front of the mic the same way I was. So we'll be doing more shows where I show my face. I'm not hiding. I don't have an eye in the middle of my head. I don't have fangs. You know, I still need some dental work, but I'm saying I'm still presentable. I'm here doing this out of love, and like I said, it's all love. Anyway, much love to you all. Take care. See you in a few hours. It might be 6 hours. It might be 4. It might be 8. But we're going to do something tonight. And the topic, I'm going to download it and I'm going to get it. Anyway, much love to you all. Take care. So long. Peace.
Hello, this is Martha. Actually, today I got to meet my friend Lance. Yes, I got to meet my friend Lance. This is my first time meeting him in person, and he's a very kind man, seriously. I do talk with him on phone, on WhatsApp, but I've never got to meet him. But today, it's just extraordinary. He's very, anything you want to know about life, anything you want to know about just him, anything you want to know about life, please. YouTube, Telegram, Instagram, Twitter, all the social media channels, you got to find him there. He's very inspiring. He's very positive. If you want anything positive about life, please subscribe to Lancescurv. And then every day you got to see different videos, different talks, different topics about life. See you.